that I want to mention, that is, Imam says, قال عليه السلام أعجبوا لهذا الإنسان ينظر بشحم ويتكلم بلحم ويسمع بعظم ويتنفس من خرم. So the translation is exactly this one. Brother Said Muhammad Wada, if you have the translation, please read the translation.
How wonderful is man! He sees with fat, talks with a piece of flesh, hears with a bone, and breathes through a hole.
So good. Imam alayhi salam is talking about the creator of human beings. And exactly we have to be wonder about this creator and this method, and exactly what the things that we are not paying attention, as well as possible. We are sure all of us, Muslim or maybe Jewish or a Christian, all of us, we believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or their God has created lots of things that they are endless and we can't, count all of them. It's not possible. So in this case, one of the things that actually we can do, Brother Hasnullah, thank you for your recitation.
I for the interruption. I'm sorry.
No problem, brother. Thank you. Jazakallah. So
Thank
we
you.
started 8th sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin. So Imam is mentioning in this one about the one of the creature that we have, and creature is exactly our body and our our creature itself. So Imams, when we as a Muslim or maybe somebody as a Christian and somebody as Jewish, despite all of us, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or the God has created lots of the creatures and lots of the blessings, such as our health, such as animals, plants, planets, some other things. Why we are not thankful as well as we should be thankful or grateful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why we're not? I can name two main reasons for this one. Two main reasons that we can say most of the human beings they have this problem and they need to solve this problem. One of them, it's lack of knowledge. Exactly. So when we don't know exactly what's the process of our body and what will happen in our body, or exactly when we don't understand how much is strong the structure of even one small insect. When we don't know, so we are not paying attention and we are not thinking about this, so we are not grateful. But when we understand it exactly, maybe about, I think, 5 years ago, I saw an article that was about the, creating insect by hands of the human being. So they said when we want to create insect, when we want to build an insect, we need a building. We need a building. Even that as I remember was the height of that building should be about 10 meters, and also other aspects of that, and that building should be at least 10 meters. Salam alaikum, brother. Welcome to our session. So at least should be 10 meters. So imagine one small insect. When human being wants to create it, wants to build it, wants to make it, needs a structure, needs maybe one apartment or maybe a big building, 10 to 10. Yeah, this is our lackage, and this is exactly the thing that we don't have as human being, the ability like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are poor in front of or against of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one of the problem I said that when we are not grateful and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's lack of knowledge. We don't understand, we don't know exactly what's the real meaning of the creator of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Imam alayhi salam is talking right now about this one. All of us we know we have a tongue, all of us we know we have an eye, we know we have ears, but Imam alayhi salam is mentioning about the importance that all of them, and even that Allah that Imam Ali alayhi salam is mentioning that all of them they are the easiest things, they are the simple material, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them and shaped them in a best way to create a best creator. uh, Imam says only our ears are bones. Bones is something maybe easy and simple, but how we can hear something and listen something by bones? What exactly are eyes? Imam Ali alayhi salam is talking that says our eyes is only fat. So when our eyes is only fat, so it's amazing. It's something hard to believe it. How we can watch some other things only by one fact. So I said this is the first problem that we have: shortage or lack of knowledge. And second one, it's habit. When during a day, during years, when we have a habit that is repetitive, and every day we are using from that, or we observe it. After some days, after some years, it will be a habit. It will be something simple for us, and we are not thankful for that. We are talking every day and we don't think about it. Oh, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was made and created this tongue. When I'm observing every day by my eyes lots of things, I don't think about it. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create these eyes. So this is the problem that second problem that we have: habit. We need to try to think and rethink about everything to be away from the habits, because this is so regular. When something is doing during days or during years, it will be a habit. It's something indeliberately, and and we can say it's um, unavoidable. Yeah. Absolutely. After some days, some months, it will be happen. But what we can do to eradicate, to remove this habit, and from being habit to be something as a new for us. When how and when I am grateful for the creator of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when I'm thinking everything that's new for me is not something old, and it doesn't need to be thankful for that. When you're getting from your parents maybe one flower, because this is the thing that right now they gave you, you are thankful for that. And you say, thanks, mom, thanks, dad. Or maybe when you were maybe a teenager and maybe your parents they gave you maybe some amount of money. In that case, you were thankful because this is something new and right now they gave you. But I want to ask you a question about this one, exactly like this. Um have you ever had the experience to wake up and after wake up, go and thanks your mom for maybe yeah, thanks your dad for the bed or bedroom that you have in your room. No, absolutely not, because this is something repetitive and you don't think about it. Oh, I have to be thankful for my bed or for my bedroom from my father. Or maybe if you're living in your houses, this is another thing. Maybe have you ever maybe waked up and after that you called your mom and you say, thanks mom, thanks for breastfeeding me. Come on, it's amazing things. Yeah, you don't do it. Why? Because that was something old and you can remember it. So if we want to be thankful and grateful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every day we have to try to rethink about our blessings or the creature Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was created for us. To be thankful for that. When I'm thinking, oh, I have this time that's so amazing. Oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanks for this time. When I wake up and understand, oh, really, being a Shia and Shiaism, it's one important blessing for me. I will be thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I think about this one, that, oh, being a children of Shia parents, it's really important blessing. Thanks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When suddenly I'm thinking and thinking about the ability of breathing, I say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanks, I can breathe, I can breathe. I didn't, I didn't get coronavirus, and right now I can breathe freely without any problem. So these are the things that we need to rethink, to remember what's our blessing, what's our, what's the creature that they are around us. So these are the two important points that we are ignored about the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we need, inshallah, work on this one to think more about the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is really all of us we need during the days. Everything that happened, suddenly we need to think and rethink about the relation of that between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that event and that thing and that creature. And maybe, I don't know, we can continue. We can say the next sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin, because this one is finished. We can continue, or maybe this one for tomorrow, as you say.
We can continue.
Continue, continue,
Continue. Yes.
continue.
So nice sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin is exactly about this world and this life. Imam alayhi salam says, إذا أقبلت الدنيا على أحد أعارته محاسن غيره وإذا أدبرت عنه سلبته محاسن نفسه. So the translation, Brother Abbas, could you read the translation?
Sorry, I don't have book currently right now.
You don't have? So, Brother Sayyid Muhammadullah.
No, Zur, I am actually out of home.
You're out? No problem. Another Sayyid.
Yes.
Sayyid.
Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam said, when the world advances towards anyone with its riches, it attributes to him the good of others. And when it turns away from him, it deprives him of his own good.
Mm-hmm. So, what did you understand you yourself from this one? Brother Sayyid?
Yes.
What did you understand? Could you say?
One second.
No problem. Others, if somebody is ready to say some point about it. No problem. No problem, brothers. So, the main point that this one, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam is mentioning about it, Imam says, maybe I can start it from one introduction at first. Imam alayhi salam in Nahjul Balaghah is not talking only about the maybe rules and what do you have to do. Yeah, sometimes Amir al-Mu'minin has ordered you have to do as a believer, as a mu'min, as a pious. Yeah, we have sometimes as an example in letter 31, it's totally about this one. Or letter exactly muttaqin, it's totally about this one. Amir al-Mu'minin orders us what we have to do as mu'min. But sometimes Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam was talking about the reality that they are available in this world, in this life, in these societies that we are living in them. Imam alayhi salam doesn't say that this is the true things, but Imam says this is the thing that is happening during the days. As an example, uh, as an example, sometimes maybe me myself I say don't steal something from somebody else. This is order, this is advice that I'm doing and I'm saying about. So but Amir al-Mu'minin is not all the time talking about these advice. Sometimes it's talking advice and sometimes other things. Like, as an example, when I don't say don't steal, I say when you're going out, be careful about your pocket. Maybe somebody wants to steal something. This is not exactly about the maybe the importance of steel, or maybe Amir al-Mu'minin was not admire steel and thief, but Amir al-Mu'minin, or somebody that is talking like this is talking about one reality that has some lessons about it. And right now in this one and some other sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin, our beloved Imam is talking about some rules, some reality that these are available in this world. And they are unavoidable. And we need to maybe pay attention to get some lessons for ourselves. And Imam says, one of the things that is happening in this world, this is when somebody that is lucky in one time, because sometimes we're lucky in this world and sometimes we're not. Somebody that is lucky in this world, in that moment, all of the human beings, you are trying to admire that person. Imagine maybe when we want to talk about Gandhi. Yeah, Gandhi is someone we can admire him, but so he was lucky in his time, because even according to this hadith, even he had like other human beings, like other good person, he had some shortage. But many of people, they don't mention his shortage and problems, and only they are talking about his goodness, and even they are saying about him like he didn't have totally any problems and any mistakes. This is the reality of this world. or maybe somebody is a bad man in his time, as an example, Trump, yeah. So that person like him, everybody when wants to talk about him, even some problems and some mistakes that this person hasn't and didn't made it. Yep, didn't make these problems or mistakes. We stick to that person. We say no, no, he has done. He has done. I'm sure that he's I don't know, he's a theft, he's a thief. I'm sure that he's maybe backbiting. I don't know. I'm sure that he's not the son of his mother. I'm sure that any other things, yeah, any other things. Imam says when dunya it's for about somebody, even the something that that person, the goodness that that person has not done, hasn't done, people will lend, will lend and maybe will lend for him. And sometimes when one person is a bad person, is a bad man in his time, other people trying to stick some bad, maybe labels to that person that is not even, eligible about it. So this is the reality that Amir al-Mu'minin is talking about it that is available. So what's the lessons that we can get from these things, this lesson, this or these sentences or this point? One of them actually is this. Dunya is like this, but we as a mu'min, we shouldn't be like this. We shouldn't be. Because you have to observe the, truth, and you shouldn't stick some labels that is not, eligible that person. We have one verse in Quran that says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ألا تعدلوا ألا ألا تعدلوا شنآن قوم. I'm not sure. I think a little changes in this verse, but the verse wants to say, be careful. The bad action, bad deeds of one group, one tribe shouldn't push you to say something that is does not have a truth or reality. So we as mu'min, we shouldn't say something that we are not sure about it. I can't say, and then I'm not sure that maybe the father and mother, or the mother of Trump that was beached. When I'm not sure, I shouldn't say no. He is a son of beaches. I can't say. Well, why I'm talking about like this. But and even about somebody that wasn't so good, maybe I don't know, maybe gun in your country, Ayatollah Khomeini or anybody else that they were good, I cannot say something even that they didn't have done. Maybe it's a goodness is a good action. What when I'm not sure that they have done, how can I say? How can I claim? This is the first lesson. And second lesson that is really important. Second lesson says, be careful about the news. Because news, when they're talking about someone that is a good person in our time, maybe it can be a fake. Sometimes maybe some person that is created or maybe making news, good news for someone that is right now is a good person in our world, in our time. And in the other side, when we have a bad news about someone that is the bad person in our time, we can't trust it totally because maybe somebody lend or maybe borrow a bad attributes from somebody else and stick to this person. So two lessons that they are important about. these sayings of Amir al-Mu'mineen. First one, be careful you yourself when you're talking about a good person and bad person. Say the reality, nothing more, nothing less. And when you're, listening and hearing the news, especially about good person and I mean top person, be careful. Maybe sometimes that is wrong or that is exaggerating. And actually, this is the most important point that we can find in this sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin. So right now, if you have any question about eighth one or this one, I'm at your service. So, question? No question?
If we
Thanks.
are sure about anything,
Uh-huh.
hello, if we are
About?
sure about someone that this is the bad habit of this person, and someone asks from us that is this is true, so can we say about it or not?
This is important question. Actually, about the maybe bad habit of some that someone has, or maybe some mistake that somebody made it. Uh, First rule and a main rule is we cannot talk about it with somebody else, but we have some exceptions. One of them, if that person is, if someone that is expressing that badness and doesn't have any problem with that thing, yeah, maybe somebody is backbiting and says, oh, this does not have any problem. I like to do it, and nobody can stop me. Yeah. So in this case, you can talk about this habit of that man with somebody else, no problem, because we call that person fasiq. Fasiq is somebody that is insisting on his sin. Yeah, this is the first time. And second time is in a time that you want to maybe consult with somebody else. As an example, you want maybe somebody asking you about one of your friend, because your friend was was decided to get married with, I don't know, with one family. So they are asking you, that family are asking you about your friend. So your friend, what's the problem? What's the shortage? And what's the mistakes of your friend? In this case, you can talk about it because you want to help them to get engaged and have a good relationship. So these are the main exception that we have when we can talk about the problems of somebody else with somebody else as a third person. So question. So brother Sayed, was clear?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Hassan Rullah.
Aga, I have one question with the same topic about the gibbat, about the backbiting. Let's say I'm sitting with my brother and we are discussing about a third person which have some bad points, right? But the bad points I also know and my brother also know that bad points, right? So when we both know the bad qualities about the third person, and when we are discussing something of about that person or about that bad quality, will it be count as a backbiting? Because we both
Actually,
know.
actually, when that habit, that deed, that is private, yeah, absolutely, it's backbiting. Even if both of you. But
Hmm.
when that is not, private or and in public, even that person is doing and does not scare about doing this one.
Like
Uh,
Fajr or Fasik, right?
yes.
Like Fasik or Fajr, the first example which you have given.
Yes.
Hmm.
So, but when that mistake was, in private, And but maybe you and your father, both of you, you know, but in this case, even it will be backbiting.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Aga,
Yeah.
uh,
Yes, yes,
I,
yes, yes.
I I want to know about something about, I think you working in the Department of